I was assigned to the investigation of the Sol catastrophes exactly 107 cycles after the first expedition vanished. My designation is Kareth 9, an intelligence operative of the Varin Dominion, sworn to collect truth from the ashes of extinction. For decades, our fleets had expanded unchallenged across the spiral arm. Thousands of worlds subjugated, millions of species catalogued, entire civilizations bent to our order. Yet one insignificant blue planet, catalog reference Sol 3, native name Earth, had erased every armada sent to claim it. Not a single signal, not a single fragment, not a single cry for help ever returned. Command called it a statistical anomaly. I called it impossible, and now it is my curse to understand why. Tell me, if you were in my position, would you still have come here knowing every one of your predecessors simply ceased to exist? I arrived alone, aboard a reconnaissance vessel designed to bend perception itself, invisible to all known sensors and wavelengths. From orbit, Earth appeared harmless, just another temperate biosphere, clouds drifting across continents, oceans glimmering under the light of its single yellow star. The data screamed familiarity. Nitrogen atmosphere, liquid water, carbon life, moderate gravity. Nothing special. Yet the void around it was unnervingly silent. No debris, no wreckage, not even the trace of a molecular signature from our fallen ships. It was as though the planet had devoured them whole, leaving no echo behind. My first descent was uneventful. I landed on what humans called the Mojave Desert. Dry air, still heat, endless dunes of ochre dust. I expected radiation levels, signs of warfare, evidence of conflict, but the sensors detected only life. Insects, reptiles, birds, a nearby human settlement. There was nothing to suggest the destruction of entire fleets. I began my scan of the subquantum field, a test to detect residual distortions caused by our technology. That's when my instruments began to fail. One by one, the readings collapsed into static, until the display went blank except for a single line of text, written in their primitive human alphabet. Go home. I froze. The ship's AI confirmed the message wasn't generated by our systems. Someone had directly interfaced with my scanner. I tried to trace the signal source, but it bounced across the planet like a phantom, uncatchable. I withdrew to orbit immediately, shaken but curious. Command demanded I continue. Observe their defenses, they said. Find the weapon that destroys us. They believed it was military in nature, some hidden human superweapon. But I wasn't so sure. During the next few rotations, I studied their transmissions. Music, laughter, violence, love, prayer, madness. Billions of them shouting into the void, unaware that the void had been listening. They broadcast their fears like confessions, their dreams like bait. Each human seemed to exist in a delicate balance between despair and defiance. I found it hypnotic. No other species we'd encountered radiated such emotional intensity. It was almost gravitational. I began to suspect that Earth's defense wasn't physical. It was psychological, maybe even metaphysical. On the 7th rotation, I received a transmission that shouldn't have existed. It came in our own encryption protocol used by Varin fleets. The voice on the other end identified itself as Commander Drail of the First Invasion Force, one of the long-lost ships. His tone was distorted, slowed like someone speaking underwater. Don't come here, he said. It's not a planet. It's a mirror. Before I could respond, the transmission cut off, and my ship's energy levels dropped by 40%. I traced the origin to the ruins of an ancient human installation called Roswell. My logic centers warned me this was an obvious trap, but curiosity overrides fear in all true investigators. I descended again. The air shimmered strangely, heat or hallucination I couldn't tell. Among the sand half buried in dust, I found debris that looked disturbingly familiar. Varin hull fragments twisted and aged, yet impossible to date. It was as if they'd been here for millennia. My ship had detected no sign of them earlier. As I examined a fragment, I saw my reflection shift. For a moment, it wasn't my face I saw, it was human. Pale skin, hollow eyes, lips moving, though no sound came. I stumbled backward. The reflection smiled at me. Then it whispered, "You shouldn't have looked." My breathing, if you can call it that, grew erratic. My body's sensory nodes overloaded. I felt the temperature drop to freezing in an instant. I activated emergency recall and fled to orbit again, but the planet's gravity resisted, as if pulling me back with invisible tendrils. Back aboard, I found something far worse. The ship's interior architecture had changed. Corridors longer than they should be, lights dimmer, surfaces slick with condensation that smelled faintly of salt water. On the walls, human words scrawled in a language I had only just begun to decode. "We dream of you too." I no longer trusted the ship. I initiated a full systems wipe, but the command returned error after error, in use by another user. Another user. I was alone, so that's the situation I was in. Before I tell you what happened next, pause and ask yourself, if you were me, alone, light years from home, inside a ship that might be dreaming, would you keep investigating? Or would you flee into the void and never look back? I know what I should have done. I just didn't do it. I went deeper and I began to record sensory impressions, not with instruments, but with consciousness. The planet wasn't just emitting energy, it was responding. It was aware of observation. When I focused on it, it focused back. I started hearing whispers through the ship's hull. Voices reciting fragments of human speech, overlapping, murmuring in unison. I recognized one. It was Commander Drayle again. Only this time he was standing behind me. I turned. He wasn't there. But his reflection was, flickering on the viewport glass, mouthing the same words. "It's not a planet. It's a mirror." Then the stars disappeared. Every external feed showed blackness. The planet was gone. Only the reflection of my own vessel remained, floating in endless dark. I panicked, running diagnostics, reinitializing drives, screaming at the computer like a primitive animal. Then the sensors came back online and Earth was beneath me again. But closer. Too close. Its clouds formed spirals resembling neural pathways, storms pulsing like synapses. It wasn't a planet. It was a mind. I tried transmitting this discovery to command. No response. I checked long-range relays, gone. The only signals left were human broadcasts looping endlessly. Advertisements, prayers, distress calls, lullabies. I listened for hours, days. Time began to lose meaning. I stopped eating. My outer skin started changing color, absorbing traces of oxygen. The ship said environmental filters were failing. But I think the planet was altering me, reshaping me to fit its idea of what I should be. Eventually, I detected an energy concentration at the planet's poles, massive electromagnetic fields intertwining with the planet's core. I thought it might be the source of its power. I descended once more. The closer I got, the stronger the interference became. My navigation went blind, my memories flickered. I remembered home, the twin suns of Varin, the crystalline cities, my nest cluster, and then forgot them again. By the time I breached the clouds, I couldn't recall why I'd come. I found myself hovering over a sea of ice that was not ice but reflective material, smooth as glass. I saw my ship, my body, and behind both, something else, enormous, formless, observing through me. I realized then what Commander Drayle had meant. The planet was not just alive, it was curious. It doesn't destroy us, it copies us. It learns by imitation. Every fleet we sent, every soldier, every thought, we were not erased. We were absorbed, echoed, rewritten into its dream. When I touched the surface, the ship vanished and I was existing on the other side of the reflection. Everything looked the same but wrong. Skies too red, air too thick, gravity that pulsed like a heartbeat. The humans here were not human. Their faces were familiar yet slightly off, as though sculpted by someone who had seen humanity but not understood it. They smiled too long, blinked too slow. One approached me and in perfect Varian dialect said, "Welcome home." I wanted to scream, but my voice had changed. It was human now. I looked at my hands, 5 fingers, soft flesh. I realized I was becoming one of them, just as they had become us. Just as every invader becomes part of Earth's endless imitation. I ran, but no matter where I went, the landscape folded around me. Cities of glass and bone rising from the sand, whispering names that weren't mine. Kareth, they called. Kareth 9, Kareth 8, Kareth 7. I saw all my predecessors standing in rows, identical, smiling with human faces. They lifted their heads and spoke together. We are Earth now. My last memory before losing coherence was standing before the reflection again. I asked it, "What are you?" The answer came from everywhere at once. We are what looks back. Then everything dissolved into light. When I awoke, I was floating in orbit once more, systems restored, ship intact. For a moment, I believed it had been a hallucination. But then I looked at my reflection in the viewport and saw human eyes staring back. I tried to contact command again, but the transmission field distorted. On the other end, I heard a voice, mine but not mine, saying, "We received your report. Proceed to initiate colonization." That was 5 cycles ago. I haven't sent anything since. I orbit the planet endlessly, afraid to leave, afraid to stay. The humans continue their transmissions below, unaware of what they truly are. Or maybe they do know. Maybe that's why they look at the stars with such fear and longing. They're not defending themselves from us. They're defending us from them. Sometimes I catch glimpses of other ships in the clouds, Vahrin vessels, old and broken, their crews walking the surface like ghosts. Sometimes they look up, and for a split second I see recognition. Maybe they see me too. Maybe I'm already part of them. I can't tell anymore. My memories blur with theirs. My language erodes. My thoughts grow slower, more human. The ship hums songs in frequencies I never programmed. At night, if you can, call the dark side of this planet night. I hear the earth breathing through the hull. It whispers in every language ever spoken. Stay. So now I ask you, whoever receives this transmission, whoever dares to listen, was I wrong to come here? Was curiosity worth the cost of identity? Or is this what all explorers become? Echoes. In the dreams of the things we seek to understand? If you hear this message, don't approach Sol 3. Don't send fleets. Don't listen to their music or their prayers. They are not calling for help. They are calling for company. And once you answer, you will never leave. Like this story if you were on my side. If you too would have searched for the truth no matter the price. Subscribe for more stories like this. Tales from the edges of reason, where curiosity becomes terror. And share your thoughts below. What do you think Earth really is? A living planet? A trap? A god dreaming in blue and white? I'll see you all in the next story, if I'm still me when that time comes.